And we have a cluster on future biotech, microbiome editing, transhumanism and ethics here. Over there we have digital biology, medical applications, questions of democratization of the technology. Monday we had a general exchange of ideas and concepts. Then people started to gather in groups and incubating ideas all together. And it was very interesting, very creative. A lot of momentum, but not sure where it's leading.
It was kind of like that process, which is like, oh, we have this, and where we add this. So now we have this micronation of CRISPR biohackers that live out in international waters.
If the kelp doesn't work, this is about sustainability.
A weird fusion of different ideas and different perspectives and different skill levels and background.
It wasn't about prototyping products or prototyping solutions. There is something natural coming out of it, and that's pretty cool.
I invited this creative group here, a mix of biologists, mathematicians, programmers, and artists and designers, because I want to explore what is possible with this technology outside of the obvious applications of medical treatments and so forth. I assume that there is many more thinkable scenarios where this might be super relevant, which no one has really discussed enough yet.
Yeah, so we are not a closed system somehow.
So everything is rather speculative. But I'm not sure whether we find something that's really new and relevant, but I wanted to create the conditions in which people can freely think and iterate these concepts. So all the scenarios were developed based on the lectures we had in the morning sessions.
For me, the most interesting was the software company, which will provide almost anybody with the necessary computations and code to start a CRISPR experiment. It was very interesting to understand how it is integrated in an almost capitalist system.
And then CRISPR, what is CRISPR?
Yes, sessions were useful because they actually gave ideas about how things are. The session I really listened to was the ethics one.
There's obviously a lot of demand to discuss this technology, the moral principles, who should apply it for what purpose, under what guidelines.
Really, this is off the beaten track of what you think of when you're an ethicist, what could be good applications.
To get a CRISPR kit and modify your own genome to be part of this
the movement.
First, to create a CRISP Pirate Manifesto.
Today already started pretty interesting. The session, so it was about current law, about the limitations of doing biohacking and doing genetic modification, CRISPR-Cas. It's a complicated topic and I'm not 100% sure what to think of it as well. I see the contradictions, but I don't have a solution.
Every presentation was a question.
I think, to be honest, on a personal level, it's kind of interesting thing that the space is not well defined. Maybe that's a chance as well for us to lay down the rules.
That's actually the more ethical choice here, whatever the government's saying.
Because of my own understanding, I have the right to step over this border of agreement and I do something different.
Yeah, so hack sessions really happened non-stop because you couldn't really get outside of the context of a hack session. So everything ended up to be a hack session, including sleeping and beer drinking and everything.
How do you cut it without
this? One way to get very quickly back to normal.
I like the idea of being longer.
It was absolutely struggling how fast they came up with these ideas and what they then all integrated in this and how they combined those things to give food for thought. But at the same time they explained sufficiently how this is linked to science and what science can do.
This ist wirklich kommerziell verkauft. Nicht mehr so. We had a little audience here, visitors from the house and around. So we had 4 teams and they were presenting their scenarios that they worked out in the last 4 days.
If one gene drive is conducted, this identifier, this hashtag will also be passed to all of the individuals of one population.
Everybody has the right to CRISPR. The world needs freedom of gene expression and gene assembly. Use CRISPR for playful creation and the greater good of organisms.
Yeah, central to this, the anthropocentric worldview shifted to a bacteriocentric worldview, and quantified self turned into quantified non-self.
And in the middle, brain B, is our product, which kind of simulates the serotonin levels in the brain.